When you think of the United States, what first comes to mind? For some, it may be the bald eagle, or maybe the imperial system. Perhaps others potentially think of the food. But I'm willing to bet for many, the thing that comes to mind is the Constitution. But what exactly does the Constitution do? It's not just words on an old piece of paper. To answer this, we need to go back around 234 years for context. The inception of the United States of America began with a desire for independence. This desire arose from outrage over British taxation, the lack of representation, and infringements on rights. The original colonists wanted to create a nation, one that was founded on principles of liberty, equality, and autonomy. With the newfound independence following the American Revolution, the founding fathers of America aimed to forge a lasting structure, one that would both preserve the hard-fought principles of America and provide a functional structure. This eventually resulted in the creation of the United States Constitution, the framework of our country. The Constitution outlines citizens' rights and specifies the government's powers, serving as a safeguard against possible overreach to protect the people from a tyrannical government. 234 years after its ratification, this document still provides the basis upon which the American legal and political system thrives, adapting to the evolving needs of society, yet still upholding the essence of its original principles, a testament to its enduring significance in shaping the nation. The principles at the heart of our nation are outlined in 27 amendments that have the ability to be changed based on the people's will. Now that we have the history established, we can look at the document's impact. Specifically, how does the Constitution distinguish the lives of Americans from those in other nations? To answer this question, we can start from the very beginning of the Bill of Rights, which are the first 10 amendments that establish our rights as citizens. The First Amendment of the Constitution states, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for redress of grievances." Broken down into simple words, the First Amendment guarantees citizens the right to freedom of speech, religion, press, assembly, and petition. Now, this is important because in one of the first choices of its kind, the freedom of religion was established. This outline guarantees the separation of church and state, which means that government and religious institutions operate independently, with no one religion having official status or control over government decisions. In contrast, we can shift our focus to the Middle East, specifically the country of Saudi Arabia. Unlike the United States, Saudi Arabia currently does not have a formal constitution. Instead, the country declares the Quran, an Islamic religious text, and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad as the constitution. In comparison to the United States, religious freedom in Saudi Arabia is more restricted. Apostasy, which is the conversion from Islam, is considered a crime in the country, with consequences going as far as death. In Saudi Arabia, the separation of church and state is not guaranteed, because the country's form of government is an Islamic monarchy in which the state is fully governed through the use of Sharia laws. These laws, which are based on sacred scriptures of Islam, are the basis of the legal system, creating a lack of separation of church and state. In contrast, as outlined in the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, citizens are guaranteed freedom of religion. Founding Father James Madison defended this reasoning, stating that the free exercise of religion is in its nature an unalienable right. This principle has had a profound impact on shaping the United States into a nation known for its religious freedom and the coexistence of various faiths. The Constitution's affirmation of the separation of church and state ensures that no single religion is favored or endorsed by the government. This separation is vital in maintaining a secular framework for governance, allowing individuals to hold their religious beliefs without influence from political authorities. Moving forward, we can also draw comparisons with our government, which is outlined in the Constitution. Since its inception, the principle of democracy has been key to the United States. The definition of democracy states that it is the control of an organization or group by the majority of its members. This principle is outlined in the first 3 articles of the Constitution, where the 3 branches of government are established. Every citizen in the United States possesses the authority to govern, as we hold the ability to vote for our representatives and run for positions in office. However, this core American principle is not the same case in every country. While the idea of a dictatorship seems foreign to us citizens, in many countries today, it is a reality. A big example of this can be seen in North Korea, a country in Eastern Asia. Since its creation in 1948, the country of North Korea has operated as a totalitarian dictatorship run in a dynastic cycle. So, what does this mean? In essence, a dictatorship means the concentration of absolute power in the hands of one person or a small group, without any constraints. These governments are characterized by the absence of democratic elections and the repression of political opponents and dissenting or opposing voices. For people in North Korea, this means life is characterized by strict immigration and emigration laws, censorship, false imprisonment, and forced labor. Under a dictatorship, authority is not derived from the power of the people, leading to a lack of fundamental freedoms and human rights. In the United States, the rights of the government and its constraints are outlined within the Constitution. Checks and balances are instituted to ensure that power is not centralized within one sector of government. The Constitution helps ensure that the power is derived from the people, meaning that Americans have the right to elect who they want in office and have the ability to run for office themselves. Now that we've observed some of the principles established in the Bill of Rights in the first 3 articles, how about we look at a more recent example? A unique liberty provided within the Constitution is the ability to amend the document, which essentially means we can change it based on the people's will. This means that the Constitution is able to adapt to the changing needs of society. An example of this in recent history is seen in the 19th Amendment. The 19th Amendment, ratified in 1920, was a defining moment in American history. It granted women the right to vote, a triumph that acknowledged their inherent equality to men. This amendment represents a core belief in the United States that individuals, regardless of their gender, should have equal rights and the same opportunities as their counterparts. Today, women are able to hold political office, take part completely in the political process, and have the same rights as men. Yet this fundamental equality in rights is not assured in numerous other nations, one of them being Afghanistan. Afghanistan's social structure differs significantly from America. In recent years, after the Taliban takeover, women's rights have been severely limited in sectors like education, work, and public engagement. Legal and cultural constraints have hindered their full participation in society, with oppressive laws that include women only being permitted to leave their home with a male guardian, restriction on holding office positions, and the requirement of face coverings in public. In America, the Constitution has established fundamental rights for women, acknowledging their inherent equality to men and guaranteeing their rights established in the document as American citizens. Afghanistan unfortunately grapples with barriers impeding women's complete integration into society, highlighting the stark contrast between the two nations. So, after hearing all this, we can circle back to our original question. How has the Constitution made Americans' lives unique? Well, the Constitution serves as the foundation of the United States. The document has endured the test of time for over 2 centuries since its ratification. For Americans, this has ensured rights that are not only protected, but have also evolved to reflect the changing needs and values of our society. The balance of power between the branches of government fosters a system of checks and balances that remains crucial in maintaining a healthy and functioning democracy, the basis of our founding. The unique framework that is the Constitution distinguishes American lives from many other nations, where these rights are not firmly established, as it places a profound emphasis on individual liberties and democratic principles, ensuring that the voice of the people continues to shape the course of the nation's history.